Hello, and welcome back to the Avoiding Average podcast. My name is Susan Gates, and I'm your host. Today, I'm really excited to share some news that I've been eager to, one, get to, and then two, share. I quit my job. I quit my corporate job on Friday, and I am excited, nervous, not really sure what the future is going to bring, but I know that staying at my corporate job is not it. And we're just gonna roll with it. Right now, my plan is to stay at home with my kids. They were with the primary decision, I think, to leave the corporate job, just because I felt like I wasn't getting to spend that much time with them, working all the way up until like 5:30, not getting home till 6:30, and then having only a couple hours before having to put them to bed didn't really feel like enough. And I felt like I was missing out on a lot of time with them. Most of the days I'd be spending staring at my phone, looking at updates from their daycare anyway. So I'm excited to spend more time with them, even if they do kind of drive me a little nuts. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little moment tonight where I was kind of questioning that decision. Like, did I make that right decision? Because my kids were about to drive me absolutely insane. But I think that's normal. So either way, I'm excited. I am still going to have to figure out how to juggle, doing the coaching and working on building out my business. But I think it's all going to be okay. I don't know that I would have been necessarily drawn toward this path had I not really been meant to do that. And so I'm excited because it is, something that was a little scary for me. I think I found a lot of safety being in that corporate role because it was a stable job. It brought in consistent income. And now I won't really have that. I had the discussion with my manager on Friday, and he was honestly kind of shocked. I ended up recording it just because, and I'll probably share that at the end. But basically, I decided to leave after we had just gone over our annual reviews and our bonuses and annual raises and all those sort of things. And so I knew what I was walking away from. And it just, I think when he told me the number, I was like, doesn't really matter. It doesn't. And so I had this discussion with him on Friday, and he was a little surprised. Even today's April 1st, and when I had my meeting with him today, he had joked that, he was kind of hoping that I was just going to say it was an April Fool's Day prank or something, but no, this is legit. But yeah, I think there's something really empowering about it. I think it is brave, bold. I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe dumb. I don't know. But all I know is it's something that I've been wanting to do. I mean, I think for the longest time I was hoping that my husband would get another job that would take us out of town and that would force me to leave my job, or that, I'd get laid off or part of a workforce reduction. Or, I mean, the ideal scenario would have been that my coaching business exploded and I was able to leave my job because I was able to make enough money that way. But building out a business takes time, and I've recognized that and I've accepted that. And it's just something that I will continue to work on. I think I've gained a lot of clarity over the last couple of years as far as what it is that I actually want to do and who I want to help. And I'm taking more steps, I think, now to really integrate all that as well. I think when I initially started, it was like I had hired a business coach, and her main thing was you need a niche down, you need to find a niche and stick with it, and that's going to be the way that you find your people. And I really resisted that for a while. I think it was really difficult for me to do that because I felt like I could help a lot of different people. I felt like I didn't really want to limit myself because I felt like I was, going to miss out on the opportunity to help others. But I think as I've grown, it's become very obvious to me that that's not really going to work. And I think maybe there were some self-confidence issues too, with not really trusting that if I were to pick one area to go after or one niche, and that I would really be able to serve them completely and fully. And so I think it's something that I've accepted, something that I've learned, maybe the hard way. But I'm excited to go forward from here. I haven't really shared this with anyone yet, maybe just a couple people, but my goal moving forward is to really utilize all of my passions and combine them to help people in a little bit of a different way. I think the coaching is still going to be a fundamental part of my business. I think that is something that I do want to continue to do because I think it is beneficial. And I do think it is a form of shadow work. And I do think that that is what a lot of people need. Maybe not want, but it is beneficial. So my plan is to include the coaching alongside astrology, and specifically astrocartography. Now, astrocartography is something that has really kind of lit me up ever since I heard about it. I thought it was absolutely fascinating. And for anybody who isn't aware of what astrocartography is, it is essentially the idea that when you were born, the planets are all aligned in certain space relative to Earth. And where they fall is what basically makes up your birth chart. And so if you were to map out those positions of those planets above the Earth, and you were to travel to a different place on Earth at that exact time when you were born, it would essentially shift how all those planets are placed. And so when you look at an astrocartography map, you see a bunch of different lines, and they all relate to the 4 angles of your birth chart, which are your ascendant, your IC, your descendant, and then your MC. And when a planet aligns with one of those angles, it has a pretty strong impact in the way that you kind of live your life. Now, I was born with the Uranus on my ascendant, and I'm not going to lie, there's definitely been a lot of times in my life where I felt a little bit like the black sheep, or the person that didn't quite fit in. And I think as I've grown older, I've started to see a lot more of the good side of that too. And I do feel like I come off a little bit more Aquarian sometimes than Capricorn, even though that's definitely there too. But it was pretty obvious to me that, like, living in a place where your where a planet was on an angle had a pretty big influence in the way that you live your life. And so as I've started to learn more about astrocartography, I really loved doing readings for other people, or consultations, I should say. And I think it's fascinating to read these charts and kind of explain what I'm seeing, and then hear back from the other people that they essentially went through that exact thing. So what I would like to do is combine astrocartography along with my love of travel and planning travel and helping other people, into helping people find the best place for their healing. And I'm a big fan of solo trips. I've taken a couple of them in my lifetime, and I think they are incredibly healing. Particularly for the types of people who tend to take on too much, or tend to feel like they're responsible for everything. And they were really rejuvenating for me, but also gave me the time and space to actually process everything that was kind of going on and really understand what it is that I wanted out of life. My first one was when I went to Sedona, and I think I've spoken about this trip before, but that was essentially like my first big awakening journey. And I will never forget that trip. Never. And I would love for other people to have that same sort of experience. The second time I traveled was when I was 25 weeks pregnant with my daughter. I ended up going to Thailand. Initially it was for like a breathwork facilitator workshop thing, but that ended up falling through. And so I had already bought my ticket, and I just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go have myself a little wellness retreat, and that will be good for me. I was really stressed out then. Toddler, who was, in the middle of the crazy toddler everything. If you've been around toddlers, you probably understand that. But then also like exhausted from being pregnant, and then also stressed out from work, and stressed out from trying to figure out this business too. And so I went on this other trip, and it was a little different. I think there was a lot less of the structured like healing sessions and things like that. But it was also just what I needed to. Slower pace, time to reflect, good food, got to meet some incredible people, and yeah, I don't know. I definitely had a lot more clarity from that as well, as far as what I wanted from my life moving forward. And so what I really hope to do is to be able to combine all those things and create this experience for people where they can essentially do the same. I'd be able to help through coaching, through breath work, through hypnotherapy, through astrology, intuitive readings, Akashic records readings, those sort of things, and just give them the experience that they kind of need, depending on what it is they're going through in life. No, I know this isn't something that would be for everyone, and I'm okay with that. I think I've finally gotten to the point where I'm okay with niching down and knowing that I'm not for everyone. I think all the practice that I've had in doing chart readings for other people make me feel like, yeah, I know I'm not for everyone, and I don't necessarily want to work with everyone. And so I don't know where it's going to take me. I don't know the success of it or whatnot, but I think getting clear on what it is I wanted to do, and then also what I considered success were huge turning points for me over the past several months. I guess not having a solid understanding of what success looked like for me as a coach really was kind of holding me back. I think I tend to be pretty good at making goals, but I oftentimes can also have very unrealistic goals. And so starting out, I think my goal was to replace my income from my corporate job, which, for anybody who's just starting out in the coaching industry, that's hard. And so I guess I kept thinking, that was the goal. If I could do that, then I'd be killing it. And then there's the part of me that was like, I would love to be able to make like $1 million. How cool would that be, right? But I also know that's not entirely realistic, at least not in the first few years. Especially if I don't have a solid idea of what I'm doing or what I want to offer, or the confidence to go after that. And so all of it has been a really big learning experience, and I don't know where it's going to take me, but now I think understanding what it is that I need versus what I want is been a huge turning point, because I think if I can get to the point where I am able to cover that need, I would consider that a success, and I would be thrilled. So I think stepping back to what it is I need versus what it is I want has been helpful in redefining those goals. I think in addition to that, just having more willingness to try different things has been helpful too. I have a few things lined up after I'm done with the corporate job, and like speaking engagements, and really just trying to put myself out there a lot more. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I'm trying. That's all I can do at this point is try. And if it still fails, then hey, at least I still got to spend time with my kids and watch them grow up. It's a little bit of a scary place to be, I'm not going to lie. I'm nervous. I don't know, I don't know whether or not I'll be successful. All I know is that I need to try. And I know not everybody necessarily supports that decision. I think there's a lot of expectation and a lot of fears around doing something different. Maybe not doing something that, everybody understands. I think even though my parents didn't really ever know what I did as an engineer, they knew that I was an engineer for a pretty large company, and it was a stable job, so that I was always kind of safe. But it didn't bring me that same level of fulfillment that it does when I'm on the phone or on a Zoom call with somebody, and that moment of realization kind of comes over their face of, oh, huh. And I just want to help people. That's always what it's been. I want to help people. I want to make an impact, like a real impact, not just a bottom line impact where I'm saving the company millions of dollars. Like, yeah, that's cool to be able to say, but is it really worth it? I don't know. I think that's what kept me at the company for as long as it did. Because it's not every day that, you get to work on projects that have millions of dollars in impact. I think working for a big company like that is you get exposed to these outrageous numbers that make it feel significant. But in reality, all it's doing is boosting the company's profits and boosting other people's income. Don't get me wrong, I've definitely benefited from the company and the company stock and all that, but I don't know, it's a different level. It's a different kind of helping, and it's a different kind of impact. And I don't know that saving a company money is nearly as important to me as it is to help people find their way, to help people find their true calling, their true path, their happiness, their ability to live this life with joy and fulfillment. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to take me, but that's okay. All I can do is keep showing up and trying and hoping that the right people find me. But if astrocartography is something that is of interest to you, I would love to chat. I'll drop my email in the show notes, so you're welcome to reach out whenever. And I think that's all I have for today. I'll leave you with the recording from when I quit my job. If anybody else there is, dreaming about the day that they do that as well, know that it is entirely possible. So maybe, you use that as your motivation or whatever. But anyway, if you enjoyed this podcast, I'd love it if you could comment, subscribe, whichever platform you use. And I look forward to welcoming you back in the next episode. Have a wonderful day. Hey, girl.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
I'm doing, I think, a little bit better today. What you got going on?
Well, really, I just wanted to meet with you to personally let you know that I have decided to actually resign from my position at home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I've decided that I want to spend more time with my family and be at home. So my last day will be on April 11th. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm grateful for everything, but yeah, I know that this is the change that I need to make. So
Okay. No, again, I'm one that, I appreciate everything that you've done, support you in any means or fashion, and I think it's awesome that, it's not always the easiest to make, certain decisions, and even with, because you got a great career, and the opportunities there are endless.
yeah.
So, to shift gears in any manner is a little scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
For sure. I'm not even sure what I'm entirely getting myself into, but
But, definitely commend you on, doing, what you feel is best with you and being able to be with the family. I mean, that's awesome. So if there's, anything I
Well, thank you.
I know that.
I appreciate the support. I do. I mean, it's um, I I really am thankful for you and the team and everybody that I've had the honor of working with. Really, like it's it's been it's been a wild ride. I know it's like almost 9 years, I think, of my life with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's and who knows? I'm sure maybe our paths will cross again in the future. But in the meantime, you still got me for another couple of weeks. So
Okay. Finish everything you
oh
got.
god,
So.
mad rush to get as much as I can done.
Yeah.
Let me know what I
Yeah.
can do to help support with that too.
Okay. Will do. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate the heads up on it, and I'll start looking at all that stuff.
Okay.
And if you, again, anything, if you need anything, just let me know.
Okay. We'll do. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, Carl.
Yep. Thanks,
All right.
Susan.
Bye.